As the cooking heavy holidays are upon us, I feel like there's no better time really than to start a minimalist-ish series on decluttering the kitchen on a budget. So with this project, like any project, the first step is really to assess where the biggest needs are first, and then start to brainstorm, what kinds of storage would work best, what type of organizational system would work best in the trouble spots. And then I'll go over total costs, since budgeting is extremely important to me. If you're new here, my name is Rebecca. This channel is dedicated to saving money and accomplishing more with less as my family gets out of $130,000 worth of debt. If you enjoy this video, please like and consider subscribing. So there's a few super unruly spots in my kitchen that could really use some purging and organization for sure. So the first trouble spot, we don't really have a dedicated pantry closet in our kitchen. We live in a pretty small house. It was new construction. Because of the size of the floor plan, a pantry was just not something that they included. So we have a kitchen island, and what we've been doing is really just turning that into our pantry. But because it's like lower to the ground, I find that after grocery shopping, a lot of times what ends up happening is we just kind of haphazardly chuck stuff under there because it's just a pain in the butt to have to crouch down and organize everything. So that's definitely spot number one. Our baby's sippy cup cupboard is also kind of an unruly spot. For a long time, we just kind of had her stuff out on our kitchen island, but to maximize, our workspace, we ended up just devoting part of one of our cupboards to all of her sippy cup components. But it's just kind of like, again, we just, once things are dry, throw everything in the cupboard, and it really is unorganized. So that's another spot that I would definitely like to organize, especially when, she needs a sippy cup. It's really hard to try to dig through there and find all the pieces to put one together. Our cupboard that we keep all of our baking supplies and spices in is really also kind of disastrous. It's really hard to see what all is in there, and really difficult to kind of get what baking supplies we need when things are up on higher shelves. And then lastly, we do have one cupboard that is just kind of a hodgepodge. It's packed thoroughly to the brim with stuff. We probably have way more stuff than we actually use in there, and then some sort of organizational system would be super helpful in that cabinet. So some backstory, as I mentioned, I live in a smaller house. My husband and I and our two kids live in just over 1,000 square foot home. Space is definitely always at a premium, and with winter here now, we definitely spend a lot of time all, together in this small space. So organizing everything is really gonna help a lot with that. I couldn't think of a better time to look into minimalism. So I feel like a journey towards minimalism and a debt-free journey are kind of complementary to each other. I feel like frugality and minimalism are just kind of like symbiotic ideas that mesh really well with each other. So minimalism is in part about just being super selective about the objects that you surround yourself with. The goal is kind of to pare down to, your essentials, stuff that, either has great meaning to you or that you use on a daily basis, or ideally both. And it's thought that, in doing this, you kind of free your mind up to think about and pursue the things that are really important to you, because you're not thinking about, what do I do with that coffee tumbler that my employer gave me 3 years ago that's just sitting in my cupboard that I don't really use. You're freed up to focus on things that are more important to you, when you don't have to worry about cleaning so much stuff as well. Minimalism, I feel like it seems like it will help me save a lot of money on my debt-free journey, because you are scrutinizing all your purchases, not just, based on, can I afford this or not, but do I actually need this? Is this, something that I can do without? So again, just seem like really complementary journeys. Having said that though, I don't know if I will be able to, fully say that I am a minimalist. Having a baby, you are weighed down with a ton of accessories. So that's why, you know, I say maybe I'm not going on a full-on minimalist journey, but maybe minimalist-ish is a better term for what I'm looking for. Minimalist-ish is probably all that I can truly claim. But back to the kitchen. So we've identified the problem areas. In my head, I'm kind of starting to think of potential organizational systems. But honestly, before I start tackling that, the most important part of this is purging. Purging is what's going to free up space so that any organizational system or strategy that I want to employ will actually work. And most of what I end up purging will go either in the trash, to Goodwill, or if there's anything, you know, that I think is valuable, I can always try reselling it on Facebook Marketplace to try to make back a little bit of money. All right, so the purge is done, and honestly, I can say that it was a really satisfying experience. It does strangely just kind of like liberate your brain. So what remains are all of the essentials, all the things that, you know, I end up using pretty frequently, and now comes time to organize. So I do have to say, like, for a small house, I do have a lot of cabinets, and these cabinets make great use of vertical space. So I bought a step ladder a little while back from IKEA so that I could access these higher up shelves in my cabinets. And my plan is, you know, the things that I use less frequently, I'll store higher up on the shelves and kind of try to organize things, you know, by my frequency of use, so that the things that I use more and more are the things that are more easily accessible. And to organize my pantry, I just bought a couple of inexpensive, they're like open front pantry bins, and they're stackable. They're from Target's brand, they're called Bright Room, but they're pretty inexpensive. They were like $7 per bin. Eventually, when I have more money, you know, I'll get the actual containers to put my dry goods in, but they're all really expensive. I don't have that kind of money right now. So in my sippy cup cabinet, I have used a little cabinet shelf to kind of give more storage options, so everything's not just in one big clump. I can actually organize, you know, the components of the sippy cup and see where everything is when I need to put one together. In my spice cabinet, the Lazy Susans I purchased from Amazon, so I will put an affiliate link in the video description if you're interested in purchasing that. And then I put another Lazy Susan just on my kitchen counter to kind of keep the things that I use most often when cooking, like salt, pepper, oil, and vinegar. I mean, before they were just, you know, up on the counter, and it wasn't like hard to grab one of them, but it just keeps it looking neater, which is important. And then in the pack to the brim kind of hodgepodge cupboards that we have in the kitchen, I just used more of those little cabinet shelves just to separate everything a little bit more. And I mean, the purge is what helped the most, but now it's definitely, when I open those doors, I'm not just like, ugh, like I can actually see what I have, and it's a lot easier to grab what I need. So here is the total of this kind of mini minimalist-ish kitchen purge and organization. As you can see, not terrible. I can definitely make room for that in my budget. But, you know, if the kind of little organizational helpers or devices that I bought are something that is not something that you can put into your budget right now, just purging really, you know, kind of helps with being able to organize everything neatly. You know, if you're able to get rid of enough stuff, it doesn't matter if you can't buy, you know, a spice rack or a Lazy Susan, like everything will look a heck of a lot tidier. So you can still get great results with just purging and organizing without having to buy anything new. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. I plan on kind of going to other trouble spots throughout my house to do this minimalist-ish purge and organization. So look out for those videos coming soon. I hope you join me for them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.